What's definitely getting out of hand? Already out of hand and has been for a while, but keeps getting worse. Advertisements everywhere. Monthly subscriptions. Not just streaming services. Software, games, and even vehicle features. It's like the MBAs from MBB have their hands in everything now. Grocery prices. Rent increases and mortgage rates. The level of brightness on new car lights. The cost to simply be alive and take care of yourself. Edit. Thank you, anonymous Redditor who gave me an award. It's good to remember we are not alone with this feeling. Apps. Every business, website, service, you name it has its own damn app now. 3-factor authorizational SO means that I have to download several apps on my personal phone just to be able to access sites required by my employer to do my job. Short videos on every social media app. It destroys the attention span and critical thinking abilities, mainly for children that grow up with these apps watching endless short videos. They will have no motivation to do something else that costs more effort, and it is truly concerning. Jobs asking for 5+ years of experience being listed as entry level. Every place asking for a tip. The political divide in the US is the worst I've seen it in my 43 years on this planet. Disney's remakes Tears of Joy. Main character, syndrome. Ignorance. So many poorly educated people with no desire to learn. Self-education is now seen as a core instead of a great skill or power. Knowledge is power. Literally everything, everyone raising their prices for seriously everything. I have gotten so many, we're raising our prices this year to growing inflation, and yes, the items are smaller, you don't get the same as you did before, or the product is worse. They all say we need to raise the rates for something because they can't afford to keep running their business on the prices now. But yet they show record profits. I'm looking at you, Excel, among others and others and others just like this. It's insane. Tipping. Inflation. People falsely claiming their dog is a service animal so they can take it with them anywhere they went. What's the most out-of-touch thing a rich person has said to you? Me. Yeah, I love flying. I have a nice flight time set up at home. Wish I could do it for real. Owner of the company. Yeah, the real thing is so much better. You should buy a plane. I love taking mine out for trips. Me. You sign my checks. I was working at a car dealership and saw the owner pull up in a $250,000 Porsche GT3. Told him how much I loved the car and dreamt of owning one someday. Owner looked at me confused and said, "What do you mean?" "We sell them right here, you know." Totally blew my mind that he didn't realize his employees couldn't afford the cars they were selling. In college, I made most of my money cleaning and tutoring for rich families. Here are the highlights. It's so much more convenient to have a sauna in your house. We ordered our wallpaper from Europe. It's the only way to go. I just bought the empty lot next to ours so we won't have neighbors. And my personal favorite, rich person's kid. Gosh, I can't find any babysitting jobs. They've been taken by the 1%. Rich parent. Honey, you are the 1%. One of my former coworkers grew up in a wealthy family and married into more wealth, but they decided she should work anyways. She was outside her car crying one day, waiting for her husband to pick her up, saying she couldn't drive her car because a light was on. My buddy looked, it was a low tire pressure light. He asked if she wanted help filling up the tire. Her sobbing response, "This is a Mercedes. You can't just put air in the tire." Edit. To everyone wondering why she would cry about a tire pressure light, I think that was second time the light came on in 3 months, so she didn't think it was safe or reliable anymore and traded it soon after. I believe the next one was a Lexus. She was also very much the type of person who would cry because she had to wait 30 minutes to get picked up while everyone else could go home. They lived in Boston and we were talking about how small condos are there. They were lamenting that they had no space and, as a result, they had to buy another condo. This was Beacon Hill, because they ran out of space to store their Persian rugs. Built a $3 million+ house for a couple. After the neighbors built their home, we're talking, and the wife says, "That little house is so dinky." We have a joke going that we call it the helps house. Now this is still a $750K minus $1 million home, no less. Just struck me as not very grounded, rolling on the floor laughing. My boss is an attorney. A client who was filling out her financial statement for a divorce realized that she had forgotten to include her student loans in the report. Laughing somewhat ruefully, she said, "I can't believe I forgot to include that." And in a bright, sunny voice my boss laughed and said, "I sometimes forget that I own a boat." The client and I quietly locked eyes with a shared understanding of how out of touch that was. I have no hair on my body. You should have your husband take you to get laser hair removal. It only cost me $10,000. Maybe in my dreams she was the mayor's daughter and I was catering her dog's birthday party. L worked for Medicaid. The big bugs at the state government level had a poverty exercise, where they had to try to budget at poverty level and live on it for 3 days. My, that was so difficult. No shit, pal. That whole idea pissed me off so bad. Boss, my wife and I decided that you and your wife should join us in the Caribbean. I'll pay for everything. Me, we appreciate the offer but we won't be able to afford it. Boss, why? Me. I'd have to hire someone to watch the kids. Boss, what? Surely your nanny can handle that. Isn't it funny we are the same age but my dad bought me a condo and you have to work 2 jobs? You've never been to Disney? Did your parents not love you or something? Bitch, my parents were raising 3 kids working 2 jobs on poverty wages. I was talking to my manager about a mistake on a check. Me. This isn't even enough to cover my daughter's daycare for the month. Her. Well, what did you do with the money you were just paid, ma'am? Food, rent, electricity, and car payment. Boom, check gone. What did the person you were interested in do to completely make you lose interest? Long time ago, started seeing a very rich person. Sent a photo of dinner I had ordered on a completely average restaurant on a completely average popular neighborhood. Got a reply saying, if you ever took me out to eat there, I would never see you again. Well, indeed never saw the person again. She slapped me in the face once in public and I have zero tolerance for that outside the bedroom. Told me I was an okay safe bet and they knew I wasn't going anywhere, so they wanted to play the field as much as possible and see if they could do better, before settling on me. I listened to her issues and troubles. So many of them were clearly self-inflicted. Poor choices, money management, and it's never her fault? Nah, I can't have those problems become my problems. Told me about his gambling problem. Only told me because he was losing his house. Every time she texted me and I didn't respond within 5 minutes she would send a question mark. It was incredibly annoying. Every story she told me was about some argument, conflict, drama, and in every story she considered herself to be the paragon of virtue and honesty while everyone around her would be vindictive, cruel, and out to get her. I recognize the behavior because my mom does the same thing and I hate that kind of constant self-victimization,